Hi, I'm Brent Johnson, and today I'm at Calvary Episcopal Church in Summit, New Jersey. With me is Evalyn Cogswell, the organist here. How long have you been playing here at this church?
It will be 4 years in July.
Okay, so you've gotten to know this instrument. Tell me what kind of instrument we're sitting in front of here.
This is a Moller, originally built in 1962 with 3 manuals and console redesigned, some new ranks and stops added in 2003 by Robert Turner.
Okay, yeah, and it's a beautiful console. Robert Turner did amazing things. This is this big tank of a console.
Yes, the carvings are especially nice.
And fits in well with this beautiful church.
Yeah, yes, it was designed to go with the look of the sanctuary and the church.
That's very nice. The organ is all up here in the front and the chancel here. It's divided between 2 sides. Can you tell me what divisions are where?
Grate and swell are over there, and most of the pedals over there. Choir and positive are up there, and a few leftover pedal stops on this side. The solo is mostly Walker digital stops, with the exception of the Enchamade, which is directly above our heads on this side.
So Robert Turner put in a digital solo division and a few other little things here and there.
And some of the stuff I can demonstrate, like this Corno di Bassetto. It's pretty useful if rep calls for a clarinet or some other American symphonic organ sound. Okay. And then there's you can pull some reeds from other divisions, so you can solo out. Like you can use the great trumpet on the solo.
It's handy that
while
we can
playing,
pull it out of the
great,
great, accompany it with its own division. Well, we have 6 divisions here for these 4 manuals. Let's start here with the great division. Tell me what we've got up there in the great.
All right, so we have the principal chorus, which I hope. That's the 8-foot tone. The big, and I didn't know this until I had a new organ tuner coming through, and they were taking an inventory of the organ. They told me that the pipe labeled C was actually on the E, low E hole for the chest. So what it means is Turner took the Moller principle and shifted the whole thing up a major third.
Yeah.
And it fills the room really well now.
4 notes is a big rescaling for them, but taking it from 1966 to that would require that. So that's a great addition. All right, let's continue up the chorus. Nice, brilliant chorus, but in this resonant room, just bounces off the walls and sounds great.
Yeah, this room is wonderful for organ music, choral music, brass music. So covers a lot of sins.
Excellent.
And makes it, all right.
Let's keep going.
We have two flutes, Borden, and a Spitz flute. There is a harmonic flute, which is digital. It's one of the best digital ones I've heard. And if you bridge the gap for all the 8-foot fons for your Franck or Vidor, I'll put the principal and the Borden on, which are pipes, and then I'll add the harmonic, which is digital.
Yeah, just gives it a little more body.
So it bridges the gap between those two very nicely.
Okay.
There's a 16-foot quintaton.
It's very 1966 Moller.
Yes, I don't think they changed that one too much from.
Okay.
Then the reeds are unified. It's the same reed at 16 or 8. Excuse me.
That's a brilliant reed.
And it's the same reed in the pedals, so you can't. If you have them on the grate, you don't need to couple them down. We'll just say the pedal clarion is the same rank, but they didn't give a 4-foot to pull on the grate.
Okay.
Then the Enchamade can be pulled on every division. It does not couple, so if you have it on any division with anything else, it will not couple through.
Ah, that's handy. All right, so that's it for the grate. Let's stay over on that side and tell me what we have in the swell division.
All right, so there's we have our viol and celeste. The Gems horns were digital. They actually if you wanted a beefier string sound. I don't use them on their. I rarely use them on their own, but if I want a thicker string, they complement the viol decently. We have our 8-foot Rohrflute. harmonic flute, octaphone, when I was doing the second section of my pieces, I was using this chorus of flutes. All right, then we have our 4-foot principal. You can play with secondary, principal chorus.
Okay.
The 2-foot plays well with it.
Nice and bright.
The mixture is relatively, it's a typical Swell mixture for a planchou from 60s, not too much of a screamer.
Still pretty bright though.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have, there are 5 reeds, I guess. The Vox Humana is the last digital thing. It's fine by itself. Adding it with the Borden and the tremulant.
I know they wouldn't have expected that in a 1966 Moller, but it's handy in here, and I'm sure handy for even some liturgy and things like that when you want that sound.
Yes, I will show you one of my, I've used that and some other of the couplers in original ways for certain hymns to create that ethereal sound.
Yeah. It's a useful stuff.
The oboe and the bassoons, 8 and 16, are the same rank. That's the 16. The trumpet, a little bit more distant, not as big as the great one.
Okay.
But the clarion, the 4-foot, which is, to my knowledge, not the same as the trumpet.
So what is there, if you do a 16, 8, and 4 chorus, what do we get out of this one?
Just the reeds or the whole?
Just the reeds.
Okay.
Okay, not overwhelming, but it gives you some roar up there.
Yeah, and I usually, the room supplements the choir voices. I can not always the clarion, but pretty much I can use the trumpet and everything else on the Swell with the choir singing without drown. We'll drown them out if I go beyond even the great principle. I usually, but I'll do a Swell crescendo, which I have set up.
I have to say, even just being right across from it, that's actually surprisingly small, but I guess it's useful when you're accompanying a choir up here. You don't want to blow them out of the seats. So.
No.
All right, very good.
So there's a 16-foot roar bass in the Swell as well. It's actually pipes. And that bottom octave is digital.
Is that an extension of the roar flute?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's our Swell division over there. So now let's go over to this side where we have the choir positive. Tell me what we've got over here. Let's start with the choir division.
The choir division is above us and behind. I'll show you that afterwards. We have the Erzähler, which is one of the big things. Apparently, it had become inaudible from the original 60s, so when Turner rebuilt it, he cleaned the pipes up the wind pressure so we can you can hear it. I find with the Celeste, I often like for a little halo, I like to super couple it. It can be a nice color if you put it with the Swell strings.
Give you a nice stereophonic effect there with the wash. Okay.
We have the Viol Celeste, which are probably, it's the one stop. I don't know if I've ever used the Viol Celeste. This is the one digital stop I don't think Walker did as well on.
Yeah.
And you can hear, it's the one that instantly yells, "I am not a pipe."
Yeah, I think they were looking for that super keen edge that the Swell strings don't quite have, and then maybe, I mean, it mixed with other things. I think even the other strings.
But no, it adds, the Viol itself adds some nice 8-foot tone.
Very good.
Because, we don't actually have a 8-foot principal in the choir itself. So if you put it on with the Gedeck,
covers some of the effects there. All right.
We have a nice cornet. I used just the sesqui part of it for Schmuckadeek.
Okay. Yeah, that's lovely.
This Spitzgeigen, it's a mellow enough fourth principle that it swings just close enough to a flute that I find you can sometimes, if I need an 8-foot, like on the grade, I will subcouple it in. So, and use that as my 8-foot tone.
Oh, yeah.
And that's sometimes very effective, especially for anthems.
It'll give you a second principle underneath your big one out here. Okay.
Yes.
Lovely.
Third one, actually. And then
Right, good.
we have the crumhorn, as typical for the American. The oboe and bassoon can be drawn from the swell if you want to pull them down there.
Okay.
Super and subcouplers, which are, so we also have on the swell and great as well.
Throughout. Okay. Yeah, a lot of different colors in there. A nice variety of things to blend with other divisions too. And then we have a positive division as well as the choir. So this is
actually I was the positive is one I think is actually one of the loveliest divisions I think tournament at is. We have the Spitz principle, which it's a little bit stringier, and I find that for as the foundational 8-foot tone for accompanying just the choir, that works really well.
Yeah.
This one will give me a slightly different color because the great principles usually that's great for it fills the room wonderful for hymns and congregational singing. But
And I'm guessing that this is not expressive.
no, it is the pipes right
out in front.
directly in front of us.
That's nice that it's not overwhelming, even though it's out in the open.
The quint flute is just enough at the 12th.
Yeah, not as quinty as the great quinteton.
No, it's so that was I think these together were I believe that's what I used for Schmuckadeek for the accompaniment.
Okay. Lovely.
The principal chorus on the positive. It's a middle stage between the swell and the great.
Okay.
We have a larigo, which they put in, which and then we have the Scharf, which is the brightest and most brilliant mixture on the organ. You added on the last page of the Vidor Toccata on Easter, if that's what if you want to really.
Usually it's your reeds that put you over the top, not a mixture.
No, apparently one of the tuners told me that several pipes for it are missing. I'm like, oh, it was supposed to be louder, but I will demonstrate. I'll actually do everything so you can hear it.
Not as much loud as just really bright and high,
Bright,
so you're
yeah.
getting a lot of that upper work. So yeah, I imagine putting that on top of your great chorus, it'll add that extra little crown to it. Okay, and we didn't have borrowed.
No, nothing is other than you can pull these swell oboes.
Swell oboes over there. Okay. All right. Well, that is all the pipe work on the manuals, save for one stop in the solo that's real pipes. We have Don Chamot up there, which we talked about.
That's correct. So we'll say it's a little much here, but I've had people play it, and I've walked around the church, and it's balanced. It's voiced really well for the room. Not so much for the organist, but
it's pretty loud.
it cuts. Honestly, the tenor range, if you want to do a hymn with the something like Dia Damata with the melody in the tenor,
right,
the big or Jesus Christ is Risen Today, something like that. It works surprisingly well. It's not overwhelming.
So it carries without being. Well, it is really bright.
It's overwhelming here.
Yeah, it's pointed at us essentially. The bells are right over our head.
Yeah, we're right. We're directly in the line of fire for that.
Well, that's good. We'll see how fortunate the microphones out there will pick it up. So let's talk about the pedal division, which you said back over on that side.
Most of it, and then there's a handful of stops they put up between the positive and the choir.
Okay. Well, tell me what we've got. It's independent.
It is, yes, independent. There's a handful of stops there. You can draw the from the swell. You've got this. It's the same trumpets as the great. It's the trumpet at 16 and 8. The principal chorus. Just. They broke the mixture up into two parts, so you can add the higher overtones to the low one.
Yes.
One thing I really like about the pedal principle, it's voiced in such a way it balances with either the great principle or the positive principle. So if we do.
It works.
It's not as huge as the great principle, but it can still support it.
Very nice.
So yes, the principal chorus, we have the roar bass, which is from the Swell. We have the gedeckt bass, which I sometimes find it's a little weak on its own. I usually put the roar bass with it, just to like give it a little more of a Borden sound.
Okay.
That seems to help. We can also draw the gedeckt bass at 8. And that's completely up there, and I know that because there's one pipe that sometimes misbehaves, and I've had to crawl up before Sunday morning and just yank it out, so we're not listening to that note for the whole service. The 8-foot flute from the Swell can be coupled. I think this 4-foot is the same gedeckt as so it's one stop. It's one rank.
Okay.
The 32s are digital. We don't. The pipe chamber is probably about 20 feet tall at most. So.
Enough, yeah.
So, but the Borden is quite nice. I like it adds quite a bit.
Yeah.
I find the contra violon huge. We have speakers doing that.
Is it that loud out in the room still, or is it more like a trumpet where we're just getting?
I don't really know. I've always found I usually just stick with the Borden, and then if you usually want really big, I could put one of the 32-foot reeds on.
I see.
And I find the violon and the 32 bombard together with full organ. That works pretty well, but I just find it's bass.
Yeah. Okay.
The Air Sailor is extended from the choir. It can be a nice blend if you wanted something a little different, with the pedal. If you want like just a little less, it gives you like a degree between piano and mezzo piano, which I've used many times. The Suba is the one digital. It can be a little woofy, but it can also give some good foundational. So I just when I tell organists who play, to be wary of drawing it with the 16-foot principle, unless you want to really.
Because that principle does have a lot of foundation under it, without as much. Okay. But now we did mention that the solo is mostly digital. You played the quarto de bassetto. What else do we have in there? Just to
there's a French horn, which I said. Works best in the tenor range, I found. I've used it sometimes. The English horn's a little more nasally. I often like it with the French horn. One rounds out the other nicely. We have an expressive diapason. Everything I should say in the solo, other than the enchaînement, everything in the solo is expressive. Another harmonic flute. This one's if I said I needed the harmonic flute to be expressive, I will usually use that.
Okay.
It's because the greats is not. We have another set of gamba and celeste. There's a set of chimes, which can also be drawn on the grate.
Those are some chimes.
Harp stop. A lot of the bells and whistles.
Yeah, all those little extra things that are.
And then there's probably the most useful stop is the tuba, which is digital, but it's expressive. So if I want an enchaînement, but I want to taper it for whatever other registration I have on.
Handy.
Yeah, and sometimes if you want to do and also I can find if you shut the box and couple it in with the reeds, it can just give a little boost to the great reeds and just add some, just a little bit more substance and without overpowering the brilliance.
But having that expressive in all that division is, really handy. Okay, well this has been fantastic to see, but I want to hear a little bit about what you can do with it.
Okay.
To access the organ, we start by leaving the sanctuary area, going off to this back hallway where there is a spiral staircase going from the basement all the way up to the organ chamber. And we come up and we are at the choir box.
This is a pedal gedeckt. So mostly the 8 foot, I think on some of the 16 foot. All of that's positive.
And here we are inside looking down at the pipework. With our 8 foots mitered in the corners. And now outside the choir box, we see some of the Walker digital system speakers. And we have some of our pedal pipes here. Our stopped gedeckt, which are metal and capped. And then out here we have the positive division. With the enchimade above. You see our 8 and 4 flutes. 2 foot, and then this very bright positive mixture here in the front. Now, for the other side, we go back down, and go across the chancel. Now on this side, we find a closet with a ladder. We come up the ladder, and we are behind some of the pedal pipes here, along the wall, and this is the swell box. There are more speakers in here. You can see our 16 and 8 foot bassoon oboe there. Our 4 foot clarion and 8 foot trumpet are on this side. With the flutes against the back wall. And our swell mixture. Coming outside, we have to squeeze between the pipes and the swell box. But eventually we get through and we can step up here, and this is the great division.
This is the 8 and 16 pedal / great trumpet. So it's very easy to tune it. Don't have to reach over anything awkwardly.
Evalyn, thanks so much for letting us come in today. This is our last stop in New Jersey. As you can see, the light's given up for the day, so it's the end of our day. We're gonna head out from here, but we do have some more videos that'll be coming out. So make sure you subscribe to our channel. If you like this video, then please give us a thumbs up down below, and remember to subscribe when you see those new videos. Until the next videos are out, though, remember you can find streaming classical organ music on our 3 stations: OrganLive.com, Positively Baroque, and the Organ Experience. Once again, Evalyn, thank you so much. It's good to see you again.
Brent, great to see you again.
And thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Brent Johnson.